What would he do to you if he found out you said something to your sister or called the police? What would he do to you?
My daughter and I both won't be alive. Yeah, right.
You had opportunity to get your daughter help. You had opportunity to protect her. Your mother showed up at the door. She called the police. The police were called to your house. You have talked to your sisters multiple times on the phone. You were over at your sister's house. You went to a 4th of July party without your boyfriend. You never did anything.
Well, that's your opinion.
No, it's not my opinion.
Yes, it is.
It's a fact.
No, it's not.
It's a fact.
Okay. Fine.
No,
and all they did was get me and get my daughter injured. Yes, because it was me. That was my fight between him and I.
That you were doing,
yes, that was our fight. My daughter had nothing to do with it.
I died.
My daughter, she's not going to die. No, it's not because of me.
Thank you for calling the National Domestic Violence Hotline. My name is Molly. Are you safe to talk?
Yeah, I am right now, yeah.
Okay, all right. And can you tell me more about your situation that led you to reaching out?
Yeah, well, actually, I mean, I don't know if you guys would really be able to answer my question because it's kind of a difficult one. But I was just curious if you might have like any information on how or how a person can kind of interact with someone who is in a domestic violence situation and choosing for whatever reason to stay there, but they might actually be a parent who has a child in that situation who is also being abused by the main perpetrator. So yeah, this scenario that I'm describing is one in which a woman is suffering physical abuse along with her child at the hands of her partner. So yeah, I was just curious about that because I don't know about this situation offhand, but I have known about it, and I haven't been really happy with the way the people have been, who know about that situation, have been treating the mother. I feel like they're just kind of bullying her, and I don't know. It was just really, that's kind of what kind of prompted me into calling here, because I don't really, it makes me really uncomfortable to see stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah, understandable. And what is your relation to the person who's been experiencing this abuse from their partner?
Well, I don't know her personally. I just know about the situation more secondhand. But I mean, I personally relate to her a lot because I had been in a similar situation, and I know how difficult and even dangerous it can be, to get out of a situation like that. But yeah, I mean, I guess I just felt like a little bit triggered because I'm hearing people just saying stuff, either to her or about her, like, oh, you're a bad mother because you're staying there. And, or I was in that situation, even though I was getting beat up too, and I got out. Or if you want to stay there, go ahead and get beat up by him, but get your kid out of there. I mean, just really terrible things. Yeah, I guess you could kind of see why. Yeah, I just felt like, yeah, I can't believe it. Yeah. So, yeah.
It sounds like there's a lot of victim blaming happening
Yes.
with that person.
Uh-huh.
And I'm so sorry to hear that they're going through that. So as far as reaching out today, we're reaching out due to feeling triggered by seeing or witnessing that interaction, or was it more so, trying to find ways to support that person and what they're going through?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, just wanting to know how to just kind of support someone who is going through something like that, or how to talk to them. Because from what I'm seeing, it just seems like the people that this girl has been surrounded by has only done more to kind of exacerbate her situation. And I guess I should actually let you know that unfortunately, her little girl who was also being abused, I mean, she did not survive that. And it's kind of a long, complicated story. Unfortunately, the little girl did pass away from the abuse, and that's why, or one of the reasons that people seem to be hating more on the mother than the actual, batterer. And yeah, and I kind of wonder, I don't know if you agree with me or not, but I kind of do wonder if if like people, like you said, if they're like just kind of victim blaming or victim shaming her, do you think that can kind of contribute to a person not leaving or just being afraid to trust anyone or like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Absolutely. I think that can definitely play a part in whether or not a victim feels supported enough to leave. They may, feel like because people are putting that blame back onto her for what she's going through, that maybe, she deserves what she's going through, or maybe it's justified because she's not, doing the right thing. It can feel really invalidating, and it can make you feel like, you don't have any support when you hear stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think it can definitely contribute to someone staying in a situation like that. Or feeling even further isolated and alone in what they're going through, and like no one understands.
Yeah. I mean, it does look like it's, at least from what I know about it, it looks like it was a really complicated situation. I mean, I guess there were like family members who actually did try to help her to leave, and but she just kept returning like multiple times. I don't know what the story was behind that. It looks like she was like suffering from addiction or other issues, but yeah, I mean, at least, I don't know these people personally, to be fair, so I don't really, I can't say that I know much, but I mean, at least from what I have seen, it doesn't look like, the people in her immediate community were very supportive or very empathetic towards her. Like they just kind of, they were just kind of criticizing her and almost in a way re-victimizing her, just telling her, oh, you're a bad parent, because you're staying there, and, I don't care if there's any domestic abuse going on, there's no excuse, get your kid out of there. I mean, it's just, yeah.
It's not always that easy, and many victims don't always have a safe place to necessarily send their children that's local so that they still are able to see them. And of course, many people know that when kids end up in, foster care, sometimes homes aren't always safe there either.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
it could end up a situation where they're being abused or they're witnessing additional abuse of other people. So it can be hard to navigate a situation like this when children are involved.
Oh, yeah.
Victims deserve more patience, more grace when trying to navigate, trying to get out of a situation like that.
Yeah.
So, we do try to talk to people about, avoiding any victim blaming or victim blaming language. Sometimes this can look like, a lot of why questions of, why are you staying? Why did you go back? Why do you put up with this? Why do you allow this to happen?
Yeah.
Because oftentimes it feels like that person is then putting the responsibility for the abuse they're experiencing from their partner back onto them.
Yeah.
It can make them feel much worse about it. So we try to avoid doing that, trying to shift that power back to victims instead, and talking to them about what their experiences have been, validating those feelings and experiences. We want to try to let them know there are options out there for getting help, and talking through what those options are, where they can go to get support and getting out of a situation like this, or staying safe while in a situation like this.
Right, exactly.
And not telling them, what they need to do or what they should do, because they've already got somebody controlling them. They don't need someone else doing that.
I know, exactly. I mean, it's just, I'm glad you see my perspective, because this has been really upsetting me. I mean, it just, it reminds me of stuff I'd gone through myself. And actually, again, I'm not an expert on the situation, but at least from what I've researched, it looks like the mother actually did try to, get her daughter out of that, or she tried to escape, and then she suffered broken ribs and a broken wrist for doing that. It seems like most people don't know this. It's really heartbreaking, really, to see what this lady is going through, and just people just being judgmental, and and just like kind of adding to the abuse she's already been through. And there's other like factors there too. I believe that the children protective services, I think that's what it's called in her area, and the police, they were called, or they were contacted, and they didn't do anything, from what I heard, so it looks like it doesn't, it's not fair. Like they're just like putting all the blame on her. But anyway, that's kind of why I called. I just wanted to ask, if you might have like any, I don't know, suggestions on how one should talk to someone in that situation, or yeah, that's kind of what I was hoping, you know, you might be able to give me some information on. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm glad that, I mean, it's unfortunate that you recognize how, that can feel as a victim because you've been through it, right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's awful that you've been victimized yourself, but also, I mean, I'm sure she could appreciate some perspective from another survivor of domestic abuse and what they've been through and getting some support, even if it's just kind, supportive words amongst all the victim blaming that she's been getting.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely validating those feelings and those emotions and, providing education around, what those behaviors can look like and how it's not always as easy as just picking up and leaving. There are many barriers and, different things that a victim has to think about in order to safely get out of a situation like that. So it's not uncommon for someone to, leave and come back or do that multiple times. I mean, on average, it takes 7 to 9 times of someone attempting to leave before they leave for good. So
exactly.
it's definitely not unheard of. And, just really providing a safe, non-judgmental space for her to talk about what's going on and seeing, what ways someone can support a victim or survivor going through that, by asking open-ended questions like, what do you feel might be helpful, or what are you maybe looking for? What do you think is going to feel safe? What are some of your barriers or concerns when you think about leaving?
Yeah.
These can be ways to kind of open up the conversation and let her know that, there is support out there for her. And even providing, our hotline or other local resources for your area, if you're aware of them, can also be helpful.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. And I mean, I also just kind of want to avoid cliches well, I don't know, maybe they're not so cliche, but I sometimes might say things like, you deserve better than this, or, you deserve someone who treats you with respect and you don't have to tolerate, I don't know if do you think that would be helpful to them or to tell them to, just think better of yourself. You deserve better than this. I mean, I think I would have, or at least I feel like that's what I would have told her. But I mean, instead, I mean, the people that I've, kind of watched, talking to her or reacting to her, they're just, I don't even want to repeat some of the things that they've said. But I mean, they sometimes say things, oh, you deserve to burn in hell forever along with your boyfriend because you're staying with him, or you care more about him than your own kid. Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh. I don't even. Yeah. That's just, gosh, really, no wonder she can't trust anyone. But I know that my opinion is not the popular one, but I've just, if I had a chance to reach out to her, I would have said a lot of the things that you suggested that I say, just to, so.
I think, I understand that it may sound, kind of cliche, you deserve better than this. You should be having someone who is going to respect you, and also it can almost feel like this is common knowledge. Everybody knows this, right? But realistically, when you're in a situation like that where you may be, not only physically being beaten down, but also emotionally and verbally abused and made to believe that, you're smaller than you are, you're not strong enough, you're not good enough, you're deserving of the abuse, or it's your fault that this happened. It honestly can help to be told, just simple things like that. There's nothing you could do or say that would make what this person has done to you okay.
Yeah, exactly.
And you do deserve a healthy relationship. You deserve to feel safe. You deserve to feel respected.
Yeah.
Because obviously this person, is in a pretty low place to be stuck in this situation and continue going back, and it's hard.
Yeah.
So giving that, giving those encouraging, kind words can be really helpful for someone going through something like this, I believe.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I guess I was just kind of worried that maybe it might not come off sincere, as if I'm just saying something I heard on TV or something like that. I mean, but I think I know what you're saying. I mean, I guess if there's a way that I could just kind of, say it so that they know that I really do mean that. But But yeah, I see what you're saying though, because like a person in that situation, they already feel like they're a terrible person, that they deserve the abuse, and then for them to have to face all these people who say, "Oh, you deserve it because you're staying there and you're a bad person and you're a bad parent," I mean, that's what I mean, it's just like people are just kicking her when she's down, and I don't, yeah, and. So, yeah, that's why I really appreciate, hotlines like this. Like, I'm grateful that there are still others like yourself who do understand it. It's just, yeah. So it's, it's really complicated. Yeah. Yeah.
It is. It's very hard to get out of a situation like this, and it is really heartbreaking to hear. Just, it sounds like all of these people, like you said, kind of kicking her while she's down.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not really, realistically, even someone saying like that, I'm not sure what they think it's going to accomplish ultimately.
I know.
Upsetting someone who's already in this really awful situation where
Exactly.
she's constantly experiencing harm.
I know. Yeah. I mean, goodness. I mean, unfortunately, there was a time when I myself was guilty of that. That was back when I was just younger and, I was ignorant. Unfortunately, I used to victim shame. I used to think, oh, I don't feel sorry for that person because all they have to do is just leave. But then, when I started to really study up on it, on the dynamics of domestic abuse, I began to see, how multidimensional and complex it really is. It's not so easy to get out. It can even actually be dangerous to leave in some cases. There are some women and children, like unfortunately they were killed for leaving. It's a statistic. It's not, I mean, it's just, it could be really scary. It could, so, but I'm glad at least I overcame that ignorance. And unfortunately, some people just don't want to, educate themselves, or it can be really frustrating, but what can I do? I can't make everyone, listen or open their minds. So,
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not your job to educate everyone. It's everyone's job to get that education to, be more supportive. If they want to show support, then look up how to provide support,
Yeah.
We live in an age of information and access to the internet, and it's so much easier nowadays to be able to get that information to do what you can in a situation like this. Like yourself, you called and you spoke to somebody to try to figure out what to do. And
I actually feel a little better now after speaking with you about this. It's really refreshing, it's, that there are, some out there who really do get it. And it's a relief after like dealing with all these ignorant, cruel people, who are just on there, just like abusing her and others like her, like, but this is really helpful. I will keep that in mind, and I guess it's just best just to kind of, rather than just like try to get all preachy with someone in that situation, just kind of, listen more than talk. That's probably the, the best avenue to take, when speaking with someone who's, in an abusive relationship. So,
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. You've been so helpful.